What's going on YouTube? So the Lexus RX has long been a dominant seller, and it's easy to see why.
And one of the biggest reasons why it's so successful is the multitude of powertrain choices, including this very efficient hybrid.
So, with ultimate comfort and a hybrid system delivering up to 36 miles per gallon, is this the ultimate hybrid that you should put in your driveway? Let's find out. So let's kick things off with a spec dump. So under the hood of the RX, like I was saying, there's a lot of different powertrain selections. This is the 350h though, so it's a traditional hybrid system with no plug. It's a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine with your electric hybrid componentry for 246 total system horsepower. It has a CVT, standard all-wheel drive, combined fuel economy is 36 miles per gallon.
Now the base price is around $53,000, and if you're looking to buy one or any vehicle, we'd encourage you to check out carconfections.com/newcarquotes to get the best price. Now of course we'll take it out for a spin to show you the performance, but first we need to shut up the hood and take a look at the exterior as well as the luxurious cabin.
Now, of course, as soon as you walk up to this vehicle, it's instantly recognizable as an RX. It's got all of those signature design characteristics, and Lexus really doesn't change much depending on which powertrain you select. Now, that means you're going to have that signature spindle grille up here in the front. This is kind of the latest evolution where we have some body color at the top. We have a gray finish for the lower part, and it kind of just blends seamlessly into the rest of the body. Now, one of the things Lexus did add last year was the availability of the F-Sport trim on the hybrid model, so that will give you the most aggressive look overall. Let's turn over here to our lighting. It is mostly premium, so you have a standard projector LED headlight. You've got that signature Arrowhead daytime running light, but I say mostly premium because unless you get the optional triple beam LED headlights, you do have an incandescent turn signal. I kind of wish they would replace that even without that additional option. Nevertheless, down here at the bottom, you also have LED fog lamps. Now out back, no matter which version of the RX you get that same classy design.
Yeah, and let's break down some of the individual touches that make it so classy. We have the spoiler up here at the top. The wiper is integrated underneath. I like that touch. We have Lexus spat out across the back, and then of course these full-length LED taillights. These are going to be fully LED as well, so you have your LED brake light, reverse light, and amber turn signal indicator. We have our branding down through here. Our lower diffuser is going to have a silver finish to it. You do not get any exposed exhaust outlets regardless of trim, and 3,500 pounds is your max towing.
Now for your wheel options, you have several selections from 19 to 21 inch alloys. This is the 21 inch contrast alloy with the multi-spoke design. I really like this design. I think it really pops with the overall look of this vehicle, especially as well with the paint color. We've got the Caviar, which is a very metallic black. Now, taking a look at the mirrors, fully loaded as you'd expect for a Lexus product. That also includes auto dimming on the driver's side.
Now at the side, the RX comes in at 192.5 inches in overall vehicle length. And as far as design touches, you have this floating pillar through here, a little bit of chrome on your window surrounds, as well as your roof rails up here at the top. And when it comes to safety systems, Lexus is really good about giving you every single system as standard equipment. That will include every active system, including things like adaptive cruise control. Furthermore, you can option on things like traffic jam assist for hands-free driving at speeds of under 25 miles per hour. But guys, there's a very luxurious cabin, so let's dive into that. But first, if you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We started young, and since then, we have reviewed over 2,000 vehicles at every price point.
No matter what you're looking for, from humble to high-end, we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family.
Let's learn a lot and have some fun with all the latest cars. Now on to the inside. Here is our Lexus key fob. It's the typical key fob. You have standard smart entry, of course, and an available digital key system as well. Getting in, there's a sensor behind the door handle and a pad that will unlock the electronic door handle. Now, taking a look inside, we have that signature RX design on board. And let's start by talking about the seats. So there's going to be a lot of different materials you can get depending on the version you select and if it's sporty or not. You start with a faux leather called New Luxe. However, this Premium Plus today actually upgrades you to a real leather, and then at the top end you can get a semi-aniline leather. This is still very soft and supple. I like the design they have back there as well as the stitching details. This trim also has 4 different interior colors, so you have quite a bit of customizability. Down below, we've got the 8-way power adjusting seats with 2-way lumbar support. Higher end examples add in additional functions to those seats, and most models will come with memory seats as well. Let's go ahead and climb inside. All right, let's look around at the rest of the cabin materials. So over here on the door trim, we have a color contrast brown armrest in the leatherette. Very nice and padded. It goes all through here and up through the top with the stitching details. Soft touch plastic up here on the upper dash. You'll see that through here you have this leatherette that circles around and has the stitching detail, plus the thematic ambient lighting is behind there, so it shines up at night. Soft touch plastic right here. We have a beautiful bamboo trim through there, more soft materials and more wood covering all through here. Everything does fit together super solidly as we expect from the Lexus brand. All right, we'll fire it up with the push button start. With everything started up, let's zero in on some individual features to highlight with this interior. We'll start as always with the gauge cluster, 12.3 inches, full digital cluster. It is customizable like in other Lexus products. We also have the optional head-up display on today's tester. So we move back to the steering wheel. This is one of the Lexus products that still has the wood actually integrated into the steering wheel on certain models. I quite like that look. It adds to the overall luxury feel. This is a power tilt and telescoping across the entire lineup. We also have heating as well. And then let's pull back into the center section here. We need to take a look at interior storage on this RX. Opening that up, you're going to see some donuts inside. 13 donuts, or a baker's dozen is how many exactly you'll see in there, which is a good performance certainly for this luxury segment. You've got your 2 cup holders right there with adjustable heights. You can slide back that to reveal some storage. This is also where you'll find your standard wireless phone charging pad and a couple more of your plugs in addition to that. More storage right through there as well. As far as the shifter, it's the small compact electronic version. Pull back for drive, go the opposite way for reverse. When you do, you'll see either a traditional backup camera or the extra 360 view when you choose that option on most of the trim levels, including this Premium Plus. This also comes with the automatic parking system, so when you select that, they package that in. Press the P for park. You have your electronic parking brake with your brake hold as well, located right behind there. Now, let's move on up into the center section. You have your volume knob that's going to control 2 different sound systems. Today we actually have the standard 12-speaker premium sound system. Of course, you have available Mark Levinson sound system as well. Very nice. Actually sounds quite good. I know a lot of people want to choose the Mark Levinson, but if you're not a huge audiophile, you'll probably be satisfied with this sound system. Okay, so let's zero in now with our kind of main display area and our climate control specifically. We have a tri-zone automatic system on this trim level. It starts at the Premium Plus and goes up from there. One thing is that you don't have to have the fully loaded examples to get ventilated seats. That is included in all but the base trim, and heated seats are even on the base trim. Now let's talk about the general display itself. This is a 14-inch display. Of course, it does also include the climate control area as well. But you get a 9.8-inch display as standard on all but the Premium Plus and the luxury trim levels. So you have to option that on if you want the extra screen real estate. Nevertheless, it's got all the features you expect, including a built-in navigation system, and you have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Up top, we have an auto-dimming mirror with HomeLink universal remotes. We have the technology package, which gives us the digital camera rear view mirror. And then I'll slide back the sunshade on another option that we've selected. That would be the panoramic sunroof. Most trims get a standard sized sunroof, but if you want the panoramic option, you will have to spend about an extra $500.
So hopping back here into the rear areas, let's begin by talking about the space that you'll find in the Lexus RX. So we're sitting at 37.4 inches of legroom, 37 inches of headroom. That does mean it's going to be one of your smaller options in the luxury midsize space. It's a little bit smaller than something like a GV80 or a BMW X5. That being said, this seat is adjusted to Drew, who's 5'8". I'm 5'9", and I brought along the official Car Confections ruler to get a realistic knee room figure for you. And look at that, we're sitting at 11 inches of second row room, so that's certainly a lot of space. Also, my feet can easily slide up underneath of the seats. Speaking of the seats, these are incredibly soft and supportive. I do really love these rear seats. They also have a lot of recline as well to make for some pretty good road tripping. Now, if we fold down the center armrest, you'll find a little storage cubby inside. Additionally, you have two pop-out cup holders. And we're not done yet because we have vents right here in the center section. We additionally have our own zone of climate since we have one of the higher end examples. Two USB ports as well. And if you want heated and ventilated seats as well as power back adjustment for the rear seats, you can get the luxury trim level. That will include all of that. Now over on the door trim, it's going to be a soft touch upper part, leatherette all through the center section, a padded armrest portion, and there's also quite a lot of door storage down below. Walking up to the tailgate, you get a standard power one on all models. You can option on the kick ability. And let's talk about overall cargo capacity. Now, this is an area I'm pretty disappointed with the new generation of the RX in, because we're sitting at 29 cubic feet of space behind the second row of seats. And if we fold the seats down, we have a maximum of around 46 cubic feet of space. Now, that's going to be way less than a lot of the main competition, such as GV80 and BMW X5, Mercedes GLE. All of those vehicles will have, close to 80 cubic feet of cargo space, which is nearly double what you're going to find here in the RX. Now, speaking of all those rivals, if you want to compare them in other categories, check out carconfections.com/vehicle rankings. We've looked at all of the categories, not just cargo space, but second row room, luxury in the front areas, technology, powertrain choices, and value, and you can sort the list based on the categories that matter most to you to really make an informed buying decision and get the best vehicle for you. Now, back to the RX, there are buttons to electronically fold the seats down, so I do appreciate that. They are 40-20-40 split folding, which is pretty nice, and you also have the ability to get a power return function if you get a luxury grade. Let's get our cargo length, width, and height figures. As far as cargo length, that's pretty good at 79 inches. For the behind the second row, that's 40 inches. The width is only going to be 44 inches, so that's not too wide. And then the height is only about 28 inches. And really the reason why it has so little space is because of that sleek design. So over here at the kind of end of the cargo area, you're only looking at 15 inches of height. Now let's do our load-in height as well. 32 inches. And underneath of the floor, even though this is a hybrid, you still get a spare tire. Well, guys, here we are behind the wheel of the Lexus RX. In this test drive, we're going to be discussing quite a lot, as you can see on the screen right now. But first, we need to start with a hard acceleration.
Alright, that takes us to 60 miles per hour with the RX 350H. So of course, the H is the hybrid. That's what we were kind of explaining a little bit at the spec dump at the beginning. This vehicle is available with 4 different powertrains, and which is a lot of choices, right? This is the 350H hybrid, so this is kind of like your traditional hybrid system. It's kind of rare actually in this segment because a lot of this vehicle's rivals, they have electric versions, right? They have plug-in hybrid, but they don't really have the traditional hybrid. This doesn't need a plug or anything like that. It's just a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine with Toyota's electric components added to that, making 246 horsepower.
Yeah, and all told, when it comes to your performance, this goes 0 to 60 in about 7.4 seconds, so it's really not a slouch or anything like that, even though it is, lower on the horsepower side. That electric torque really gets you off the line pretty well, and compared to the very popular RX 350, it's only going to be slightly slower. Now, like Drew said, there are 4 powertrain choices. You can see all of those on the screen right now. I don't have time to talk about all of them, but there is a traditional gas option for those of you that want no hybrid options, and then there's also a plug-in hybrid variant as well as a performance-oriented hybrid.
Now, transmission-wise, this has an eCVT. Each of the other powertrains also has different transmission options as well, but this is, plenty smooth. Like I said, Toyota's typical hybrid system.
Yeah, they know how to do it very smooth and refined. And I'll go ahead and toggle us to fan speed 1. Our vented seats are off so we can get a sound level reading. .1 decibels is what we are sitting at as our sound level reading here in the Lexus RX Hybrid. We don't have to sit here and guess how it compares to other vehicles in the luxury mid-size space. We can find that at carconfections.com. Now, compared to those rivals, it's going to be very, very similar to all the other sound level readings that we've gotten on RXs in the past. And it's a very quiet cabin. However, the competition is also extremely quiet. Things like the BMW X5, the Genesis GV80, those are going to be the class leaders for the quietest cabin. Now, as far as how power is routed to the ground, you can get a front-wheel drive version of the RX. However, it's not available here on this 350h. This is going to be all-wheel drive, standard across the entire board. And as far as your fuel economies, they do range a lot with the different powertrains. This is going to be really impressive, though. 36 miles per gallon combined out of this 350h. Now, the 500h is coming in at about 27 MPG, so that's going to be a bit worse, but that's your performance-oriented model. And this one, I think, is really great for a lot of people just because of that efficiency. There's not a lot of German competition or in the Genesis brand either of like a traditional hybrid that just gets exceptionally good fuel economy. So this is going to save you a lot at the pump. And when I first got in this car, I believe it has around 600 miles on a single tank of gas, which is also great.
Now, the handoff and power is absolutely seamless, and it's just very isolated overall.
Yeah, and part of that isolation is the excellent ride quality. This is a very rough road that we're on right now, and both us and that RX in front of us are experiencing some really great ride quality right about now. This vehicle, honestly, guys, is just one of the most comfortable products that money can buy. It just is so, so good at soaking up the bumps, and we even have the larger 21-inch wheels on the outside, so the ride only gets better from here, and the seats are incredible as well. So really, if you're looking for something comfortable, the RX delivers absolutely in spades.
Now, handling wise, of course, the RX having the emphasis on comfort does mean that it's not going to be a tremendous handler or anything. There are other versions, though, that can wet your whistle when it comes to overall performance.
Yeah, you can get an adaptive suspension. You can also even get rear steering as well if you get the 500h.
But I do think it's important to note that you can't get the 350h with the F-Sport handling package, so that does mean that, that's going to be a little less dynamic overall with this powertrain. Now, we still need to do today's Slam Dunk and Airball. I will start with the Slam Dunk. That's going to be the combination of comfort and efficiency that this offers. Like we said, it is kind of a unique package, combining these two characteristics together to give you something that gets approaching 40 miles per gallon combined, but still coddles you in luxury.
Yeah. Now, on the flip side, our Airball is going to be just the practicality of this RX. And, yes, it's still a very practical SUV, but compare it to some of the main rivals like X5, GLE, GV80. I mean, they have nearly double the cargo capacity and also have more room in things like the second row. So that's just going to be a serious sacrifice that you have to be willing to make here on the RX. Now you can see the full lineup of RX prices on the screen right now, but this 350H model starts at around $53,000. Now there are a lot of different versions. I think this is one of the best ones to get though. So we have the 26 RX 350H, we have the Premium Plus model, and then we also have quite a few options. I'm not sure how much of that you can see. After 1450 destination, we're sitting at $65,395 as tested today. If you're curious as to where it's manufactured, that is in Canada. And if you're looking to buy one or any vehicle, we'd encourage you to check out carconfections.com/newcarquotes. The reason you should do that is because we have a tool on our website that'll connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool to use if you plan on dealership negotiation. If you'd like to check all of that out, as well as things like our monthly payment calculator, you can find that once more on our website, carconfections.com. But what about Lexus Resale Reliability and the warranty? First up, let's talk about resale value. Lexus as a brand is rated at 53.83% of estimated retained value after 5 years and 60,000 miles, and after 10 years and 120,000 miles, 28.16%. Now, it's worth noting that is actually above industry average for all vehicle brands, and it is easily the #1 best luxury brand.
Now, the same can also be said about reliability. We developed the Combined Reliability Index, and with the latest 2026 data, Lexus is the #1 overall brand and the #1 luxury brand.
Now, if you'd like to learn more about all of that, you can find that on our website, carconfections.com. Now, when it comes to your warranty, you have a 4-year 50,000-mile basic warranty, a 6-year 70,000-mile powertrain warranty, and you additionally get 2 complimentary service visits, which is good for a luxury brand. And guys, that wraps up our in-depth review of the 2026 Lexus RX 350H. If you enjoyed watching this review and hearing all about this efficient luxury hybrid, we'd appreciate you subscribing down below and becoming a part of our Car Confections family. I promise you won't regret it, and if you're already a part of our family, thank you so much for your continued support. We'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.